Well, hello, this is Andy. It is January the 26th, 2021. This is the Menorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec site. And I wish we had some news to tell you that there was some cutting going on. But again, we didn't see any. We know the guys are working and they're trying to get this problem straightened out. And one thing we did notice today is the west side block was raised up. It was pretty high, and we're thinking it wasn't quite that high yesterday. So we got some pictures coming up. We're gonna kind of go in here a little bit. We could see that the offshore block was again pulled over to the VB, and looks like they're continuing to work, trying to get that chain lined up. And as we come in and kind of look at it a little tighter, you can see it's pulled over, and that other block was high. And this is from yesterday, and we see that right-hand block was down low. So we know they're working it. They're trying to get it straightened out and get it where it needs to be. But really no cutting going on today. The site looked to us just kind of quiet. They're still in problem-solving mode over there at the site. So what's the next thing to do? Well, let's go over to the port and see what's going on over there and try to make a report from the action over in the Port of Brunswick. So we loaded up, headed over, and this is what we saw. We found the dry dock, and it is tied up to the pylons that are put in place out in front of the area where we think the car salvage area is going to be, or processing area for maybe some of the vehicles that are in those middle sections. And we say this because there's car salvage processing equipment here on this site, brand new and just kind of hanging out. There's some other equipment that's set there that looks like it would be used in the car salvage business. And so as we look at these pylons, it looks like they've got enough there for several sections of this dry dock to be kind of staged. But we're going to go in and we'll show you some of this car processing equipment that is on site. This area has been cleaned out now for a while. It looks like that the equipment is in place for setting up some sort of vehicle salvage operation. As we come back around with the drone, we can kind of see how we think this may work out once they begin to start taking vehicles off, and maybe they'll swing them over with a crane, put them here, or they'll be picked up and processed. And so we went on up the river, and we got some shots of this is the environmental fleet tied up in Brunswick. These are the boats that work with the oil skimming and recovery operation, bits and pieces of debris that they may find. These guys are all outboard powered, aluminum, in the 28 to 30, 32 foot range, big deck boats. And on up the river, we saw the Pacific Horizon heavy lift crane that's been, we saw this creature kind of working around the site for a while, and then it was towed into Brunswick, and where it has been for a while mainly serves to load the barges. We kind of took a look at the deck and some of the equipment that's on board this work barge and crane setup. You can see a big claw down on the deck of the barge, and we think this will probably be used for recovery of some of those vehicles we know have gone into the water inside the environmental barrier out at the site, along with some big anchors and a big pile of chain that might be used for cutting the Golden Ray into pieces. But it's there in Brunswick, and we've seen this crane kind of working periodically, loading barges that are headed out to the site. A big workhorse, big piece of equipment with a lot of lifting capabilities. Then back up, we got a picture of the barge that's in place for the section that is to be cut, that will include that big engine that's in the Golden Ray. That barge is there, and it's another one of these just really massive floating deck spaces, and it has been fitted with, it looks like, the catch area, catch basin in the center of it to try to hold in any contaminants that might come out when that section of the ship is lifted. We've seen this kind of happen with the first two cuts. They cut, lift, and then slide this barge underneath and then lower on it. And that's a little process. It takes about, I wouldn't say quite 24 hours, but they have to lower that piece onto the barge and allow the barge to take the weight, pumping the barge back out of water to bring it back up and take the load of the ship section. But it's in place, along with another one of the other work cranes that we've seen out at the site. And then the Ashton T crew boat, it was tied up today alongside one of the work barges that we've seen out at the VB, taking supplies and equipment out there during its maintenance period. And then along with the Kurt J. Crosby and the Crosby Star tugboat, all tied up today in the Port of Brunswick. And one other vessel we caught was the Leah Jane, and that is the one of the shrimp trawlers that is kind of converted into a debris recovery vessel. It's got the big heavy nets on it. We got a little video of that girl coming up. The other boat, the Master Tyler that we saw yesterday pulling that oil boom setup, looked like it was out. It may be anchored up, and they had that vessel out yesterday testing out that boom system, seeing how that thing is deployed and how it would work should it become necessary, which we thought was an excellent move. To have that knowledge behind them and know how to set it up, that's some forward thinking. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but right behind the Leah Jane there, that's that Ocean Reach vessel you may have if you're a fan of the shark tagging project that took place with the great white sharks. That's the vessel that took care of all that. She's been tied up in Brunswick for a while. And back down the river, we're passing by some of the equipment. You can see just how massive the operation is and how much of the waterfront of the port is dedicated to this removal of the Golden Ray. It's really a massive project. Hey, that's about all we've got for the day. Wish there was more. Hey, if you haven't done it, we ask you to subscribe, send us some comments, and most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.